My name's Thomas, 21 from San Francisco, and I spent 30 days living in China's California, Dali. Let me start off with where I was living. I was living part of a co-living community called NCC. Hey everyone, so this is NCC. So we start here, this is where all the motorbikes are parked. This is my motorbike right here. It's a beautiful blue one, it's taking a charge. Yeah, this is the courtyard area where people can kind of gather and share what they're doing. Second floor, I live here, this room. You can see beautiful view of Dali. Third floor. Here a lot of people, the original people signed this window. Here's the rooftop. Here you can do laundry, see some horses, and see the beautiful city of Dali. There's some shared room like this for community events. Oh, and I almost forgot the kitchen. Sorts of pots and pans, cookware. The stove is incredible. It gets so hot. Yeah, great place to cook some food. And these have many workstations where you can just plug in your laptop and use your computer. I think way more interesting than the place itself are the people who I met. So right away on my first day when I arrived, I became friends with someone named Cici. And she's from Guangzhou. Most of the people I met were from larger cities coming to Dali to kind of take a break and kind of take a rest, kind of heal. That's the main theme I hear when I talk to people. But yeah, Cici was my first friend. She showed me how to get around the city on an e-bike. I would ride on the back of her e-bike. We explored all of her favorite places, and that was kind of my window to Dali. A lot of people don't speak English, but she did. So anytime we were in some social situation, she would kind of explain this is what's going on, kind of do some translation. But yeah, she was my first friend. But after about 5 days and a lot of fun times, she left. This is one of the things you feel living in Dali is you meet people, you really grow deep, but then people don't stay forever. It's kind of a place where people just visit. So after that, I felt kind of alone for a couple days. I'm a little lost here. I don't really know too many people. And kind of just started going to cafes on my own, coding some projects. And then I joined for a game of Ultimate Frisbee later that afternoon. And man, I just got so sick from the altitude sickness. I threw up a couple times and I was just so sick because I wasn't used to the change in elevation compared to San Francisco, which is at the ground level, versus Dali, which is 2,000 meters above sea level. So yeah, this was kind of an adjustment for my body, but I felt really good because I healed myself. I drank water, had berries, did all the things, and I was totally healed after just a couple days. And so after that, I kind of just started venturing out more on my own. Just started going to interesting places. I went to a hippie market where I met a guy that taught me all about brewing tea. He runs his own tea shop, and I thought that was very cool. I met someone who runs their own kombucha shop, who is also part of the living community that I'm in CC. That was really cool hearing his story. He started off making kombucha at home, and then he just made more than he could drink, so he kind of shared it with others. And yeah, I thought he runs that with his partner. I thought that was so cool. And yeah, I even decided to try pottery, which is something I wanted to try for a while. But there was a place that had a workshop near where I was living, and I just figured, let me give it a try. So this is one thing which I made. This is called a floor tile cat is the translation. But yeah, this is a classic in Yunnan, the province that I was living in. This type of design. Yeah, so I made this. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, I was kind of okay on my own, but enjoying the life. Initially I was kind of dependent, and then I kind of became more independent, where now I was riding the e-bike on my own, going places on my own. But then as new people came, I started kind of showing others, hey, here are my favorite places, kind of taking them on the back of my e-bike. So that was kind of when things started to feel full circle, where now I was kind of the window to Dali to new people who were coming. And this is when I started to make some really close friends. Like Shodan is someone who became one of my really close friends. She traveled from Shenzhen and just kind of came to Dali, again, like most people, just to heal, just to like have a rest. And yeah, it was really cool that I was kind of the window to Dali for her. She would ride on the back of my e-bike and I would show her like all my favorite parts of Dali. Then one day I was on the hike with my good friend Leidao. Leidao went to high school in America, so he and I, his English is so good and we have a lot, in common. We can talk really freely and openly. I enjoyed the friendship a lot. And he's also into AI research, so we both share that kind of technical interest. And we kind of had the crazy idea, he and I were like, what if we decided to run a hackathon in Dali? And at first it was like, wow, how in the world would we even do that? But later that day, we just decided to pitch it to the group of people living in our house, like, hey, y'all, we're thinking about doing a hackathon, what do you think? And people loved it, so we just decided to run with it and do it. Then the team grew from just Leidao and I to Wendy joined the team, Shodan joined the team, and a few other people decided also to join the team. And suddenly, it wasn't just he and I, now we had like a whole team behind it. First thing I did was I designed a poster. So I went to a bookstore, installed all the really cool posters they had up. Actually a couple different bookstores. And then kind of from those posters, I took a lot of inspiration and designed this. So this is a little sketch of a poster I made. And then that sketch later on turned into this. And then I made another version, which was the Chinese version. So we have a Chinese poster here, and an English poster here. And we made WeChat posts and posters we put up in all the nearby cafes and communities who wanted to share the event. It was a totally free event, so we're not making any money from this. We were just doing it because we thought it would be so cool to run a hackathon in Dali, and all the organizers just split the cost. And we hosted it at the hacker house that I was living in, NCC. It feels crazy to call it a hacker house, but I think to the audience, if you're like a San Francisco audience, that's the closest word I have to describe this place. So made these t-shirts. So yeah, this is the front. This is the back. Along with that, we also made this really cool hat. So yeah, the hackathon went super well. Initially, like first day, we had maybe 10 signups or so when we launched. I was a little worried, but then the next day we were at 20, 30, and then the day of the event, we had around 70 signups, which was absolutely wild to me. Also, huge shout out to my friend Wendy. She helped like translate everything on the poster and the opening slides. So I designed these slides. Here, I'll just shuffle through a bunch of them. And especially this meme, I thought was so fun. Yeah, thanks to her for all the help translating, and she just did so much running the event in general.
Morning.
She was the prime minister of morning meals. And yeah, I'm just so glad. Like, we met at that Thursday night when we decided to share that we were doing this hackathon. She decided to join on board with the organizing team. It was her first time doing a hackathon, and yeah, I'm just so glad. She helped so much. So yeah, for the hackathon itself, we started off opening ceremony slides. Then we had a really cool icebreaker where we handed out these cards that Shodan and I drew, where every card had an animal on it, and you needed to find the other people who received the same card of that animal. And you could only do this by either making the sound of the animal or acting out that animal like physically. And so you found the people who had the same card, and then you and they kind of went up in front of everyone and shared a poster that you made. So you make a poster with the people who have the same card in 15 minutes, and you go up and share it in front of everyone. The purpose of this icebreaker was kind of just to get people out of their shell, get people talking with people they've never met, and get people into the mode of like, all right, I'm going to make something here. I'm not just going to consume. Because I think in life, it's so easy to just get in that consuming flow where you're like, I'm just consuming stuff. Even at events, it's just like you just consume a bunch. But yeah, we kind of wanted to right away get people into creation mode. Oh yeah, also the event, we called it Dali Co-Create. Yeah, that was so fun. So yeah, people made these posters, and then we kind of, after that, opened it up to building. So people just started forming teams. And the type of projects people were working on were really interesting. At first I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like. I'll save that till later on, what the projects were like. But Wendy and I decided we were going to be a team. So this was our first time coding a project. So we decided to do all of the initial setup stuff on her laptop. That way, she could have like, Brew and Node and, Cursor and like all the stuff she needs just set up, installed, working right away. So that was the first like hour or so, was that, plus making the initial design. From the start, she had the idea. Her idea was called Dancing Diary, where basically you're someone like me who has some journal. You submit some photos of your journal, and then it will analyze your journal and kind of give you a song, along with the diary itself will have a dance for that particular entry, right? So she had this idea from the start, and I thought, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's make it. Let's do it. So yeah, she and I kind of evenly split the work of making it. She learned a lot just through, it's her first time coding a site, and we actually shipped it by the end, which was really cool. But yeah, that whole night was intense. It was like, man, nothing was working, so many issues, it didn't feel quite right. Like the design didn't feel quite right that night. Gosh, so tough. And then around 3 a.m. or so, we were like, all right, we both decided we were going to go take a nap. So she took a nap and then I took a nap. And then we both woke up later, and then we had a Zumba class. So one person named Shodan, my good friend Shodan, she's actually a fitness trainer in her city she lives in, Shenzhen. So she actually led like a whole-on Zumba class for all of us. It was so much fun. I felt so silly because I was so out of sync with everyone else, but it was okay. Like the thing is, in Dali, you really feel accepted. Like the people don't judge you. The people are just happy you're there, and they want to connect, and it's like a low pressure environment, which felt really good. But yeah, I loved that. We did Zumba in the morning, kicked off the day, had some oranges, some tea, just breakfast. Okay, we start the day. And then, yeah, Wendy and I continued working on the project. Things started to finally get good. Things finally started to work. We needed to submit later that day because it was a 24-hour event. Oh yeah, over the night, one person set up a tent and slept in the kitchen. I thought that was crazy. But he was a really cool guy, so it was pretty chill. It's pretty chill. Oh yeah, Wendy also queued the best music for the hackathon ever. She was the DJ for the event also, which was so sick. I mean, I say DJ, we didn't have the DJ board, but we had speakers, and she kind of picked the playlist and did all that. That was so cool. Yeah. So then we had demos. We shared our project. That was so fun. And then also the projects that other people shared. Wow, they surprised me so much. They were so good. So one thing we did differently with Dali Co-Create compared to any event that I've done in the past is I really wanted to open it up to non-technical people to feel welcome to come and make something. So we kind of had an open prompt where it was just make something for fun, and it can be anything. So you can make something technical, like a website or an app or a game, or you can make something totally non-technical. So for example, you can, one team made a song, and that was so cool, and they made a music video in Dali that was totally around the song they made, and that was just so awesome. Another team decided to make a little short video series, which was again so cool. They just filmed in NCC, and they kind of had a team where everyone on their team was an actor and a writer, and everyone kind of made this story together, which was sick. Another team did a live theater performance, which was awesome. And then of course there were some really cool technical projects. One person made an MCP for uploading to RedNote, so they're Cloud Code could upload to RedNote for them, which was really interesting. And yeah, people just made all sorts of cool stuff. I was really impressed by the project quality and how everyone really came out and they gave it their all, even though we had no prize, anything like that. It was just a celebration around making things, and yeah, by the end of it, I just felt so good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so then after that, this was kind of 2 days after the hackathon, I was flying out of Dali back to San Francisco. Felt really hard to say goodbye. My flight was flexible, so technically I could have changed it. And technically my visa is up to 3 months, so I could have stayed longer. But I decided to go back. I kind of just felt my real life is here in San Francisco, and it needs my attention. I need to give all I can to it. I think that this month I took with just the intention to be curious. I'm so glad I did it. I feel I learned so much, and I'm just so grateful for everyone in Dali for all the kindness they gave. If you're thinking about going to Dali, I would say like totally go for it. It's a place where you'll meet a lot of really kind people, and it's a place you can get a lot of inspiration. I would say like I don't recommend to go into it necessarily as like this is going to be the most productive time of your life. I mean, you can make it what you want. You can make it that if you want to. But I think the culture is mostly just people enjoy their life, which is, when you come from like a San Francisco type mindset, that's kind of hard to imagine because people here really, they want to make something, they really want to go after their dream. And that's what I love about this city. And this is different. Dali is different. Dali, people really just want to enjoy their life. And that's also cool too. You should give it a try. I think, yeah, it's not my place to live forever, but I'm really glad I went there, and I'm really hope I can go there again one day. I really love it. So beautiful. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that's my experience in Dali. Welcome to the Co-Create channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, you'll see the link in the description is the article I wrote, which is like, this is my whole experience in Dali. Honestly, that's way more detailed than this video. If you had just read that instead of watching this video, you'd probably be way better off. You would have learned a lot more, but you came along for the ride, and I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. If you want to subscribe, you'll see the next one.